On live. And we're live. Channy, how are you? Happy Sunday, my brother.
Hey, happy Sunday to you as well, my friend. It is a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
Because the New York Yankees are the best team in baseball right now. 15-6.
We have the best record in baseball. We have the best record.
15-6, nine-game win streak.
What do we have, a half-game lead in baseball?
Today.
Yeah, half-game lead.
Yes.
No, 16-6. 16-6.
You're right.
10 games over 500.
10 games over 500, 9-game win streak, 41 run differential. I mean, this team has been hitting, and more importantly, this team has been pitching. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it.
What?
I said I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. I know this is a baseball podcast, but you and I are Yankee fans, and the Yankees are finally showing up, you know?
The top of our lineup is mashing.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, between Rizzo, who, by the way, leads the league in home runs with 9 dingies, and then you've got DJ LeMahieu, who's hitting over 300. Little fucking IKF, who you and I wanted DFA'd a couple weeks ago, is hitting 300. Hicks. He's hitting like 285 or something like that.
285 for him is electric.
It's electric. What else can you ask for? I mean, obviously,
we've been playing. You have to caveat it. We've been playing shit competition, though. So
we've been playing shit competition, but we've been beating up on them, and that's what you're supposed to do when you play shit competition.
And we don't die. We still have the no dying from last year. A little comeback today. I like to see that.
Exactly. You know, this is a team that today's game would have lost that game 10 times last year.
All right. Would have just. Yeah. Chan's getting optimistic. We got optimistic Chan in the house.
We got an optimistic Chan. Listen, I love what I'm seeing out of this team. That being said, I know what's about to happen with the hitting, right? The hitting's not going to stay this hot forever.
Yeah.
What I will say, though, is I do think the pitching has potential to be all-around best rotation, best bullpen in baseball this year. It's a hot take.
Bullpens are really bad across the league right now.
Not ours.
It makes it easier. Yeah, ours is all right. You think Nestor Cortez continues like this?
Well, he kind of got touched up a little bit this week. He settled down a little bit. I think it was against the Royals. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Oh, he did. He
got touched up a little bit. But how about the balls on Mike King?
I didn't get to. You got to catch me up a little bit. I've been going through a lot. I've been dealing with a bunch of shit lately, although you have too. What?
So, Mike King,
8 hits. He let up 8 hits in 5 innings, but limited it to just 1 earned run. Two runs.
He did. No, he stopped the bleeding. You really can't ask for much more. I will say this though, Mike King, if we're going to talk about him, has been an absolute revelation this year.
I've seen him pitch a couple times.
Dude, he's got a .61 ERA on the season with 14.2 innings pitched.
What kind of
stuff?
They
brought him in some really high leverage situations. And, you know, I think today they brought him in first and second, no outs. He got out of it. You know, he's been unbelievable.
Like a little Jonathan Holder? Like a little Jonathan Holder? Or better?
Kind of like a little Holder. In a way, yes. You know who he reminds me of a little bit as far as like longevity and can also eat a couple innings when you need him to? Ramiro Mendoza. You remember Ramiro Mendoza?
Whoa! What a compliment!
The biggest compliment.
Channy's on fire today. On fire. That's a compliment.
Mendoza, 26 years old.
Ramiro Mendoza was on the other end of the catch when Mariano learned the cutter. When he learned the cutter.
Exactly. He's a part of history.
A little flick in right field.
He is a part of history.
All right, well, let's touch back in. We'll touch back in on our Yanks. We've given them 5 minutes. We'll touch back in once we play some decent competition. Do we play anybody good? We play the Jays this week.
We go to Toronto, I believe, tomorrow.
And we can't bring Judge. Who do we not bring with us? Judge?
No, everyone's vaccinated.
Okay. Well,
Came
let's
out,
see
said
how we
everyone's
do
ready
against.
to go.
Let's see how we do there, right? Before we get
Yeah,
to
listen.
but best team
huge,
in best team in baseball. We'll take it.
best record in baseball. I mean, listen, huge division implications on this series. I believe they play them again at home in a week or something like that.
Marty,
So
what up, brother? Yeah, Judge got vaccinated.
yeah, Judge is vaccinated. Everyone's vaccinated. Who just hit them?
The
Bryce
Mets
Harper
are
just
win,
went.
right?
Bryce Harper just went yabo.
Okay.
All right, let's talk. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, because for those of you that don't know, Trevor Bauer was suspended for 324 games.
Insanity.
Unprecedented suspension for the domestic violence charges that were brought against him last year by the girl that apparently was what sounds like a rough sex situation gone wrong. That being said, how do we feel about this suspension? What do we think it says about the game? What do we think it says about, the MLB? I mean, there's so many implications to this suspension that I don't think are being talked about. And luckily for the fans on this pod right now, Shan and Veed are going to break it down.
Well, I got a couple.
Go ahead.
You want to go for? I got a few bullet points. Let me run through my bullet points. You react to my bullet points.
Okay.
First bullet point, I actually can't react to, but I saw in the thing, I didn't realize there were texts from the girl asking to get choked. I mean, that's kind of insane. We're in this spot. Regardless, there were other stuff, though, that was really bad. So he did do bad shit. And he's probably a creep. Do you remember that shit where he was flying around the drone and stuff?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on the last pod. It's, yeah.
You know why he was so relaxed, though, when that happened in all the press conferences, when he had to explain, like, oh, I'm going to miss a starter finger? Most people would be beaten up. I bet you he was doing some dirty, hairy shit, and he was happy he didn't get caught. And he was like, oh, just hurt my finger here. Oh, yeah. But I have two thoughts. One, I don't know if this would have happened if it wasn't in L.A. I think it being in LA is extra bad just because everything been going on in LA. Secondly, if you look at other people's suspensions, like Marcelo Zuna got caught like choking his wife out in front of the cops, and he got 20 games.
Aroldis Chapman waved a gun at some girl and only got 81 games. It's like that's the part about all of this that's really, really bothering me.
He's unlikable too, and he talks a lot of shit about MLB. That's not helpful.
No question. Manfred specifically. However, for the game, for the fans, for the league, there needs to be consistency across the board with punishments, right? Someone gets caught juicing. First time it's 81 games. Second time it's a whole season. The truth is there is consistency, right? You know what you're going to get. For them to give him 324 games on top of the 99 games he's already been out. Let's not forget about that.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
He won't be back till 2024 to not even give him time served on this. It's honestly egregious because here, the way I look at it is this is arguably one of the most exciting pitchers in baseball right now. Hard to argue. He's coming off a Cy Young season in 2020. He was shortened season. A lot of people will say that doesn't count. But I look at it that way and I say, why would you take somebody out of the game that is actually, not only good for the league, but also vlogging, doing all kinds of multimedia stuff that is outside of the league that most of these players aren't doing. This league gets no recognition. And Bauer's handling that. Now this guy's going to come back in 2024. He'll be, 34, 35 years old. His prime is going to be behind him. Yeah, and I don't think that that's fair to him.
No, I agree. I agree.
I'm not condoning what he did or what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I believe the charges were dismissed or not filed, if I'm not mistaken.
They were dismissed.
And then you also got to wonder what this means across other sports. Like, what does this mean for Deshaun Watson, whose charges were also dismissed and the league hasn't ruled on his suspension yet? Could there be a domino effect? I don't know. I mean, that's where my head goes with this. I just really don't think it's good for baseball. I really don't.
Well, the baseball doesn't know how to manage themselves. So they're the worst marketing. Marty's thing could be like along somewhere lines where it's like he's only missing X starts actually. So like they're trying to really punish him. Maybe that's like if they're trying to pitch, that's at least the logic if you're pitching it across some board or something that has to okay it because it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I agree. Bauer's probably the biggest baseball pitching nerd in the league. Agreed. That's the part that Rez brought up. That's really bad because regardless, some people are watching those videos, and that's better than whatever other marketing you have going on because you don't have any other people that actually want to interact with fans in that league.
I've watched his videos. His videos are great. I don't think they've ruled on it yet, Marty.
He's been out for so long. My God, like let the guy live. What do we do?
That's the thing. I mean, after this is all said and done, it'll be 423 games that he has missed. Listen, if I'm him, I would sue the MLB.
I think he started. I think he started. He's going to sue for all the damages and stuff. He's suing her.
He's suing her. I guess another girl. I guess other girls have come out to the press saying that the same thing happened to them with him. So it's not boding well for him. Even so, be consistent. Give him maybe if you really want to throw the hammer at him, give him 162. But include the 99 games that have already happened. Just be consistent.
My biggest, only two explanations I had were it's because it's LA. Because I swear, I'm probably remembering it incorrectly. I couldn't look it up. Because you remember the Felipe Vasquez guy that got caught diddling the girl in Pennsylvania over state law, like doing the weird shit with the 13-year-old girl? I don't even think they gave him 2 years. I mean, he might have just gone to jail and it wasn't even a thing. But for some reason,
he went to jail.
In my head. I didn't think in my head.
No, I think he went to jail. And listen, if charges were brought against him,
absolutely.
If charges were brought against him, then it would be a whole other story. I just think that like this whole guilty until proven innocent mentality cannot bleed its way into sports, right? The two. Well,
it's been here. I mean, even all of these things, that's just in society. So I think that's the explanations. It's the combo of it's in LA where it's like the heart epicenter of all that shit and all the weird sexual deviance because Hollywood's built on sexual deviance. There's that. There's the fact that it's the height of that kind of thing today and it's in LA. So there's my one explanation. Or the judges, the people ruling on it, and like Rob Manfred are all out there choking bitches like constantly, and they got something to hide. They're like, hey, this ain't for us.
I mean, I think
I think it could be a live deflecting. This could be a story of deflection.
It's possible. I have nothing to go on with that. It's kind of conjecture. What I will say though is like I said before. Neither of us condone what happened, what he did, taking it too far. There's no room for that. None of that's acceptable. That being said, though, there just has to be consistency across the league. There really does. And, it's hurting the game as a result. And baseball
he needs. I agree. I agree on all because he has to be punished he has to be sentenced for a long time. It has to be hundreds of games.
He should be punished. The optics are not good. This is too long. And then
the hospital and stuff too. He's got.
Yeah, listen. What he did was wrong, and there's no excuse for it. What I will also say is then for John Heyman to come out in the press. I mean, did you read that New York Post article of John? Oh my God, literally called him basically everything short of a scumbag. Just absolutely buried him in this article, saying no one will miss him, no one should feel bad for him.
It's like an opportunity
he should be banned for life. It's unbelievable.
It's like an opportunity for these writers to plant their flag in something,
Yeah,
what I mean? Listen, moral high horse flag hill thing.
John Heyman, I can't stand that guy anyways. He's basically just Boris's mouthpiece, but I didn't think that was right.
Oh, so. I agree with you, Ho. Let's all right, we spent 10. Trevor, we're on your team, bro. Sorry, brother. Well, not overall, but the punishment. It would be like if somebody was going to send the guy to the electric chair. I'm like, I don't want him to go to the electric chair.
No, exactly.
I just want him to spend some time behind bars.
Yeah. I want what's fair.
Next talking point. Chan, you brought this up, and you're there. Do you feel the juice? You're in that. You're right near the stadium. Is it palpable? Ho? Can you taste the juice?
It is palpable. We're talking about the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and I will tell you right now. Listen, this is a team that going into this year had the top 2 MVP candidates in Major League Baseball for the AL. You know, this is a team that for years has had pieces, right? They've always been short on pitching. They've always had injury. They've always had the bad luck come and get them. But this is a team that on paper has had the personnel. And to see them finally putting it together on a year where, you know, transparently, I don't think anyone would argue this, Madden is probably – his seat's getting hot. I think his seat is getting warm. You know, I mean, he has – I don't think he's – has he finished above 500 since he's been there?
They haven't had any serious playoff runs because the only playoff run they've had was the first year of Trout's career, I think, right?
Exactly. I think that was the only time he's ever been in the playoffs. And, you know, I mean, you also look at it too. I mean, they beat up on some bad teams as well recently.
And just they've been facing teams at timely points. Like they're facing the Indians as their offense cools down. They're facing the White Sox as they're playing like shit. They're facing teams at timely times right now. That was a big takeaway I had.
They have. But that being said, I mean, Trout's hitting 344.
Taylor Ward's hitting 400.
Yeah, Taylor Ward's hitting 400. You know, I mean, like, this is Marsh is hitting. What's Marsh hitting? Marsh is hitting probably in like almost 3, isn't he?
No, he's like average. Though nobody else, I don't think, was over 300. Although not many people at over 300 these days. For a season, anyways. But I was surprised. The offense; those two are the only two really lighting it up. But the offense is like top 3 across every major offensive category. So what must be happening? Because you looked at they're doing a lot of lineup shuffling and stuff. You have to assume Madden's doing a really good job at matching up daily, like matching.
They are. I mean. Dude, you know, they don't have anyone that's getting consistent at bats really hitting below the Mendoza line. Even Shohei, who's been pretty pedestrian thus far, is still hitting 228 with
his usage is like crazy. His usage is crazy. He's pitching or playing every day. Like,
he has had the most at bats on the team this year.
I know, and he's pitched 4 games. It doesn't even make. I saw that too, and I was like, "Are you trying to? Didn't he just come back from like Tommy John or something like a year ago?
He did.
Like, what are you doing?
Listen, he's had the most at bats by a very large margin. He's had 92 at bats. The next guy on the team that's had the second most at bats is Rendon with 71.
Yeah, he's been terrible and he's still top 3 in the league in hitting. So there's room to grow. The other big thing I'll say about the lineup is they're number 3 in baseball against left-handed pitching. And for like a few years, like up until even last year, like any lefty, you just bet on any lefty going to Anaheim. And it was like coming out with it. It was like automatic money. Any dog lefty going to Anaheim was like a perfect bet. They're hitting 270 versus lefties.
No, and then also, you know, which is, by the way, is incredible. You know, let's talk about their pitching a little bit too. How about the resurgence of Noah Syndergaard?
I know.
How about the the exciting surprise of a gentleman by the name of Patrick Sandoval?
Dude, I
don't think he's let up a run.
You could see at the end of last year, he started to like you're like, oh man, this guy is electric stuff. He just needs to learn how to pitch more. Dude, his metrics are, if you go to his Fangraphs page, it's like, dude, he's allowing like 75% medium contact, like no hard contact. He's
That's
like
unreal.
Swinging strike rates like 18%. It's like, dude, you're just on fuck you planet. Like you don't even know what's going on.
You know, I watched
tomorrow,
him.
by the way.
I know. I've only seen him pitch once. I actually randomly spot started him in fantasy last week, which is beautiful, obviously. But
dude, he has unbelievable breaking stuff. His breaking.
Talk a little bit to us about his pitch cadence.
What do you mean cadence? Like what he throws?
Yeah, what's he throwing? What's working for him specifically? I haven't seen him play.
It's his breaking stuff that's the best. Like I'll pull up his Fangraphs. His breaking stuff is like I talked about at the beginning of the season. He has like some of the best breaking shit in baseball. It's stupid. Like his stats are absolutely insane. 75.8% medium contact. He's allowing 15% hard contact. It he's not allowing much soft contact either, but it's absolutely insane. Let's see. His changeup last year produced it's his changeup and his slider are his two best pitches. It's his change. He has one of the best changes in baseball. That's the base. And changes are playing up right now because nobody knows how to hit anymore. Everybody just swings for home runs. So changeups are just playing up in baseball. He has a 17.5% swinging strike. He has an 82% zone contact, only a 79% zone contact over the whole year last year. He's got Jacob deGrom peripherals, basically.
I mean, what are we talking? 20 Ks over 15 innings pitched also?
Yeah, he's out of his mind. It's 12 over 9.
12 K for 9.
Insane.
Dude, I mean, he is, unbelievable. I mean, the guy's got a .8 WAR already this year.
Yeah, I mean that, and then with the way Lorenzen's pitching, I don't think he pans out the whole season to be a sub-3 ERA guy, but I think he'll be sub-4. He's gonna have some hiccup, just stretching him into a starter. The Reds tried it. There was a reason why it didn't work for the Reds, right? The guy's this far into his career, he's playing center field sometimes. It's not because he's gonna magically come over and be a sub-3 ERA like Ace. So I think Suarez has good enough stuff to be a good 4-5. If Syndergaard pans out, I mean, I don't think Ohtani's ever going to be a great pitcher, but serviceable.
No, but his stats are interesting this year too. I mean, he's for all intents and purposes isn't pitching great, but at the same time, he's been an absolute strikeout machine this year. I think he already has 30 punchies on the year, or something like that. He's got a great slider. Problem is when he gets touched up. He gets touched up.
Yeah. Is Syndergaard for real? Yeah, I mean, he was real on the Mets. He's got good stuff. It's health. It's health for him.
It's always been health. This has been a guy that
because he likes the spotlight and being a big pitcher too and stuff. He loves
he does, man. Yeah,
he loved that.
Listen, dude, he pitched great in New York. The only problem was, he couldn't stay healthy. Yeah. And to see him have this resurgence on a team that so desperately needs pitching, it's been good to watch. It's good for the sport.
It is good for the sport. And then the bullpen's been fucking good too. I like the back end of the bullpen. This bullpen's been pretty good with Archie Bradley producing nothing, and I have a hard time believing Archie Bradley's just done. I think Archie Bradley's a pretty tough guy.
I don't know, dude. I mean, Archie Bradley, he
is
keeps this up. He'll be DFA'd by the summer.
But he was fine last year, wasn't he?
Where was he? Philly last year?
Maybe he's been bouncing around, huh? Am I living in art in the dreams of yesteryear?
You're dreaming. You're living in the dreams of Arizona, Archie Bradley.
Well, Tepera and Loop were both great grabs from the Jays. You got those two. You have Iglesias.
Tepera and Loop have been great. Iglesias has been great.
I don't know about Mike Myers and Archie Bradley then, though.
No, Archie Bradley. Let's see. Archie Bradley's given up in 8 innings. He's given up 7 earned runs, 8 hits.
That didn't feel like
2 walks. Yeah.
Marty Lane, that felt like so short ago Archie Bradley was dominating on the D-backs.
I think that was 4 years ago.
I think Archie can be something.
It's funny because I actually saw him at a club in Scottsdale. He was at the table next to us.
Really?
And I was with a buddy of mine that's also a Yankee fan. You know him, that's why. Yeah. And we both go, "Hey Archie, come to the Yankees." And,
dude, Archie was fine.
Tell him to pay me. But
Archie was fine last year. He had a 3.7 ERA last year.
No, Archie was fine last year, and I actually thought it was a decent signing. I don't know what was Archie's contract this year.
I don't know. He's dealt with some injury issues though.
Yeah, he got 1 year, $3.75 million. So I mean, I mean, to me, that's a low risk contract.
Yeah.
You take it, you run with it, you see what happens. The production's just not there. And yeah, I mean, dude, he keeps this up, he'll be DFA'd.
Well, so then the bullpen becomes the only part where I'm like, you still got to prove it to me. But I mean, I wanted to go into my research on that being like the Angels are fraudulent. I still hate them. They're not that bad. They're definitely a lot better.
No, listen,
definitely
they're
a lot
very good baseball team. They also have the benefit of playing in a, other than the Astros, a pretty weak division. And your Mariners. I don't mean to insult your Mariners.
We'll see if you agree with where I rank the Angels power rating wise when we get to that. All right, let's hop on the next topic, Chan. They are who we thought they were. The AL Central, Danny Green's AL Central.
Danny Green's AL Central.
Although, the one thing I will say, I mean, the first thing I had to bring up with what the fuck is wrong with the White Sox? I mean, there's some poop in the pudding.
There is some poop in the pudding with the White Sox.
Top of the toilet.
There is some poop in the pudding with the White Sox. So, I haven't really watched a lot of White Sox this year. What I will say is this, though, like, I'm surprised because isn't Tim Anderson having like a banner year this year?
Yeah, he's doing really well in Andrew Vaughn, but everybody else is pretty.
But Abreu and Grandal have been abysmal, haven't they?
Eloy Jimenez, fucking Luis Robert, all those guys, complete holes, hole, like all 200 across the board, hitting 200.
Let's see, pulling up their stat page now.
But
so yeah, Anderson's hitting 333, Vaughn's hitting 283. And then
they're still mashing left-handed pitching, though. They're like second versus left-handed pitching. They're still doing a lot of the things they do well. The biggest things I saw that are problems with them is, one, when you watch them. So it's three things. One, watching them, they look like they have no juice. They just look like a dead baseball team. And then you can see that in some core stats, like they're second to last in defensive runs saved. Like that's crap. I wouldn't expect that necessarily out of that team. And then the back end of their bullpen has been horrific. Bummer and Hendricks have been horrific.
Where are they using Graberman this year?
The 8th. He's been good, though.
He's been good. Yeah, no, he's been good. And then hasn't Kopech been good as well?
As a starting, their starting pitching's been pretty good overall. That's why it's like they shouldn't have this big. There's something wrong for them to have this bad of a, because the starters are actually pitching pretty well. Because the bullpen overall outside those two guys has been good too. So it's like it's either the worst batch of variants on planet Earth, or like the eye test is kind of passing and there's poop in the pudding, Chan. There's poop in this pudding.
There could be poop in the pudding. I mean, I will say this, there is a lot of guys really underperforming for them. I know they took a flyer on guys like Keuchel, who has been absolutely abhorrent this year. But then you've also got Vince Velasquez, who I don't think is as bad as his stats show. It's an interesting rotation. And then Giolito, who's not far removed from, I believe, didn't he get AL Cy Young votes a few years ago?
Giolito's good. He's good. He's good.
No, Giolito is good. I mean, right now Kopech's just kind of the ace of the staff, but it's
I've been expecting something out of this like Dominican core led by Tony La Russa. They're all Dominican, like, hey, let's part, like we got a connection, let's all do it together. I just don't see it.
I will also say this. I haven't watched him pitch yet, but I've been reading about him. This Dylan Cease kid.
Yeah, he's good.
He's young. Was he 20, 25, 26?
This was a good point on Marty on the Angels. Key to the Angels, too, is Trout's health. He's a fucking glass boy. He's made of glass.
Agreed. If Trout stays healthy, that's a team that can make a playoff run, and then my season tickets can finally be worth something. So, yeah, I mean, listen, the White Sox, I haven't watched a lot of them. If you tell me they're not passing the eye test, on paper, things don't look great, though.
No, it's bad. Something's wrong. Everything else, I think you're pretty right, though. Like, I think the Indians are who we thought they were. They had a hot start offensively, and now they'll just fade into, 10 games below 500 team.
Guardians, please. Guardians.
Well,
if we're going to talk about the AL Central, then I feel like we have to talk about Byron Buxton.
You don't want to talk about the Indians, or you agree with me that they're just going to be Terry Francona will keep them like 10 games below 500?
I mean, what do you expect out of them? They literally got rid of everyone. You know what I mean? Listen, I love watching Jose Ramirez play baseball. That guy is, I'd go as far as to say he's one of the best players in the AL. He is
in that
fun
lineup.
to
It's
watch.
tough for him though. He tries to do too much.
Well, yeah. Well, he has no
Marty,
protection.
we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about that at the end. We're going to go over Monday's matchups at the end.
He's got no protection in that lineup.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like, absolutely none.
Okay, so then I agree. They're exactly the same. We don't really need to talk about the Royals either because they're managed by Mike Matheny. So they are what they are.
Yeah,
I mean, that's game, set, match. That's the whole thing.
They sadly are what they are. Speaking of which, surprise, surprise, Fat Gary hurt.
All right, so lead us into the Twins, Chan. What's your early season opinion on the Twins? There's a lot of I think people could have any take right here, and you have the good possibility of being right, like anywhere on the spectrum.
So listen, to go into the Twins, obviously I want to start. Let's talk about Carlos Correa. Obviously, when we first did the pod, you and I both, I believe, said on that pod that we knew he wasn't as bad as he's been playing. Since then, he's been picked it up. I think he's hitting almost 260 now.
Some big hits too. Some big hits.
Huge hits.
Big
I think he might lead the team in hits as well. So Carlos Correa is a very good baseball player.
He also brings something to the team, like in terms of like chutzpah, like some like "fuck you, we win around here" kind of shit.
Yeah, he does, and the truth is with other guys they have in that lineup, Polanco's been terrible, but Kepler, Arraez, Urshela, Buxton, he has protection in that lineup. What's their left fielder's name? Larnack?
They have a Larnack, yeah. They played Garnish or whatever today too. They have a couple young guys, and Kepler. They kind of rotate. They have a bunch of young like white outfielders. Garlic is his name. Yeah,
there's protection in that lineup, and the truth is I believe that they're going to come around. It's also fun to see Buxton really, taking more or less to the DH role because, dude, this is a kid that's been so highly touted for so long. Literally talk about a guy that just can't stay healthy. He's hit 7 home runs already this year, has a 1.1 OPS. Like, dude,
I feel like he kind of feasts on shitty pitching, though. Whenever I watch him against really
That's
good
what good
pitchers,
hitters do, though. That's what good hitters do. They feast on shitty pitching, man.
And he's younger than his years because he's missed so much playing time.
Exactly. What is he, 27, 28? Yeah. Something like that? Yeah.
He should still be young as shit. He came up so young. The one thing I will say about the Twins, first of all, I think the bullpen has been a really pleasant surprise, but I'll touch on them in my surprises section. I have them there. But I do think this is a case where before you get too high on the Twins, the one thing I will say, it does feel a little bit like a thing where everything's going right for the Twins right now. Like they can't do no wrong. And when things start to go wrong, let's see what happens. Because it definitely feels like a little thing. Like every game, the ball's rolling right into their glove. And like it's easy. Like it just let's see what happens when they get punched in the mouth a little bit. You know what I mean? Marty's pretty much sold on Joe Ryan. He's pretty dirty. He's pretty filthy.
No, this Joe Ryan kid is special. He is special.
Yeah,
he is very special. Dude, his stuff is hard to hit, man. Bundy too. Bundy's been good.
He regressed he started his regression last start. Let's see what happens there. I think Sonny Gray will pitch better though, so you can kind of like swap that regression. Danny's never been a Sonny Gray guy since his time with the Yankees.
Yeah, no, I haven't been a Sonny Gray guy since his time with Oakland.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? He had a couple resurgence years, and he had a couple resurgence years in Cincinnati. I'll give him that. But
before we move on to those surprises we were just referencing, do you have any thoughts on the Tigers? I feel a little bit like I drank too much of their Kool-Aid. I think I drank a little too much Tigers Kool-Aid. I had them ranked like top 15. Too much cool.
You did, and I didn't understand that to begin with. I mean, what is there to really say about him? Hey, we also haven't talked about this. Congratulations to Miguel Cabrera, 3,000 hits. Welcome to the club. One of the best pure hitters in baseball, man.
Hey, and his debut was terrible for us. We respect the shit out of him. His first year ended poorly for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What was it? Oh, yeah, 03. They won the World Series with him. And listen, man, I mean, he has been, as far as consistency goes over these last 20 years in baseball, I mean, he has, been the poster boy for it. And
never
to see him hit that accomplishment.
Right?
What?
Never caught cheating.
Never caught cheating.
And he's too flubbery. He doesn't do steroids. He's too flubbery.
No issues, no, nothing in the press. I mean, granted, he's kind of always played for small market teams, but, listen, they're just not a good baseball team. But I will say congratulations to Miguel Cabrera. It's a shame to see him.
Their bullpen's been pretty good. I will say that. A bullpen is a good place to start. Their bullpen's been pretty good. The lineup is a little short. Their defense.
Lineup's short.
The defense.
Austin Meadows has been great, though.
Nah, but he'll come around. He's a good hitter.
No, he's been great, Austin Meadows.
Oh, he has? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
He's a good hitter. I mean, he's.
No, I think he's hitting like 320 and has like over 20 hits already this year.
I'll never understand. I don't care if it was a walkie or whatever. I'll never understand the Rays letting him go.
It's almost as inexplicable to me as the Red Sox trading Renfroe for Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah, wild move. And now their lineup is short.
Exactly.
He was a nice piece of that lineup. He's a good hitter. I like him.
He was, yeah. How's Baez been? Baez has been good.
Yeah. It's the top. They're a really short lineup. They remind me, it's a similar shortness to the lineup that I think the Cardinals have, because I don't buy any of these Dylan Carlsons and people like that. Surprises. Oh, wait, let me type it up. Do you buy Dylan Carlson?
I did. I mean, it's my NL team. Yeah, I buy Dylan Carlson, man. I mean, what is he, 23, 24? He's young.
Candy bought early Aaron Hicks. It's okay. I feel all right. We'll see what happens in a few years.
Yeah, listen. He's been right. Chaney's been wrong.
All right, Chan, let's go back and forth. I'll go first for biggest surprises. And mine, it's an easy one. Throw it out of the way. The White Sox slow start. I mean, I believed in like chemistry, stuff like that. I do a lot of handicapping off of that. I thought chemistry-wise, this team would be banana, start to really take off. The bottle cap gang, we all learned to hit like David Ortiz. The bottle cap gang, nothing. So that I'm shocked. I didn't think they'd have like a slow, like they look lifeless this far into the season. It's like first week look lifeless. We're a month into the season.
Other biggest surprise for me is obviously we already spent a whole segment on it, so I don't want to go too in depth. But the Angels, did not expect them to, best case scenario, I thought they'd finish third in the West. I mean, granted, I know we're still young into the season, but they look like they can really hold their own in that division.
They do. They look more complete than a lot of teams. I will give them it.
Other surprise I want to mention: Red Sox pitching.
That's on mine. And they still stink at baseball. It's exciting to see. They're going to stink this year.
Listen, you love to see it. You love to see them. You love to see them go down to the Orioles. But what I will say is, like, dude, their pitching surprisingly has been really good. I mean, Waka, who I literally, when they signed him, I remembered laughing. I'm like, Waka. Who's been probably their best pitcher, and then this Whitlock kid who was a Yankee.
Hook is filthy.
Hauk is filthy. Not Vax though, so can't play in Toronto.
Oh, Marty's a Red Sox fan. I forgot. Marty. Yeah, you guys are gonna stink this season. If you're pitching this well and you stink, you're gonna.
That's the craziest thing. And then this Diekman kid in the pen has been special too, but. That's the thing that I don't understand. I mean, you have, 3 of their 5 stars. Even Rich Hill's not pitching poorly. The only guy that's not pitching well for them in their rotation right now is Pivetta.
Yeah, Marty just said he pitched a lot better today too.
What do you mean he pitched a lot better today? They lost 9-4 today. Who gave up the runs?
How many did he give up?
I don't know. I didn't watch the game, but who gave up the runs?
I don't know. Diekman did blow the game the other day. Diekman's really hit or miss. He's wild. I think
wild. He's got really good. Diekman's got really good stuff though.
Yeah, he does. He has really good. He just can't control it. When the pitching falls apart for the Red Sox, full sell mode.
Yeah. Well, and Hansel Robles too.
I know really Robles has been good. We have lost 4 games already strictly because of our bullpen. Yeah, but everybody's been working extra time. Most teams have been. Games have been.
What do you want to exactly? But also, what do you want them to do, Marty? When you look at their lineup, and other than Xander Bogaerts, no one's really hitting. I mean, I guess Devers is hitting. But past that, I mean, it's and JD Martinez is hitting. I take that.
The top of the lineup.
No one else is hitting.
It's the top few guys in the lineup, and that's it.
No one else is hitting.
And Bogaerts and JD, especially JD, they hit a lot of singles. A lot of runners left on base.
I mean, Bogaerts has been one of the best hitters in baseball this year. That's the saddest part about all of this.
For the last however many years, he's amazing. He is amazing.
He really is, and they're going to let him walk. I mean, dude, the guy has 31 hits already this year.
Yeah, insane. Another one I had, because I had that as a surprise. It's surprising to me that the Braves pitching is so bad on top of the chemistry issues, on top of everything. The Braves have problems on problems on problems. They have a lot of problems, the Braves. There's some issues.
The Braves have problems. The Braves also, unfortunately, I think they were my pick to win that division. Dude, that is a really hard division.
I know. They're fucked.
I mean, they are fucked.
They're fucked.
The Phillies who are even playing better than the Phillies, who, in my opinion, have played better than the 500 baseball they're playing. The Marlins, who's Veed's early season pick, have been good, and then the Mets, who we'll talk about later in the pod, but Mets have been one of the best teams in baseball.
Wait till you see how irrationally high I have the Marlins in the
power. I'm gonna poke a lot of holes in it, so I'm excited.
And then the last one for me is the Twins bullpen. I think there's some arms in there, like this Alcala guy that's coming around. A lot of big arms in there, a lot of talent that they brought up that's now starting to come into fruition. It looks pretty good.
Twins bullpen. The other thing, and I don't know if this is a surprise
compared to what I thought it was going to be. I thought they'd be like one of the last teams in the league. So the fact that they're decent is impressive.
But how could we also not talk about the fact that the Cincinnati Reds have potential to be the worst team in baseball history this year?
They have a really bad coach too.
I mean, oh my God! I think they've only won like 3 games, right?
Yeah, they're 3-19.
Oh my God, dude.
It's bad.
And then the other thing that just breaks my fucking heart too is to see Joey Votto finally coming back down to earth.
Yeah. Is he TikToking as much? Is he still?
He's TikToking a little bit. He should have been doing this a long time ago. I mean, dude, the guy's got he's got a negative WAR on the year. He's hitting he's barely hitting above 100. He has been remarkably bad. I feel for him because, dude, we talked about Miguel Cabrera. Joey Votto is another one who has been as consistent.
He's been hitting 300 for as long as I can remember. It's like rain.
Yeah.
It's rain in the
exactly.
spring.
I mean, dude, you knew it was all going to go to shit. I think this season was the first time he has ever popped out in the infield in his entire career, which is an unbelievably, arguably one of the most impressive stats in baseball, maybe even sports.
Wait, what?
This year was the first time he has ever popped out in the infield.
Whoa. Something's wrong with the ball, huh?
I mean, that is a remarkable stat. But yeah, I mean, it's
wow,
it's sad, man.
Crazy. That guy. What an eye, huh?
I know, dude. It's
one of
sad.
the best eyes of our generation. Like a Kanye for years, Joey Votto with eyes.
And then you talk about loyalty too. I mean, dude, that guy could have gone and chased the ring 10 times over, never did. Stayed in Cincinnati.
Oh,
dealt with the fact that ownership put shitty teams around him, and now he's coming to the back 9 of his career, or I'd say he's probably on like the 17th hole of his career. I think, what is he, 37 now, 38?
It's rough.
Yeah. It's
Not
sad,
good.
man.
It's not good.
I would love to see him make the Hall of Fame. I think it's going to be a tough sell, given that he's never really won anything or been a part of anything that's
a lack of power numbers too, and completely irrelevant.
Yeah. But,
do even people know who Joey Votto is that don't follow baseball? Well, I guess that's not a good moniker because, like, a lot of people.
No, it's not. He plays in one of the smallest market teams in the league.
Tough to get him in.
Tough to get him in, but yeah, I mean that has been. Listen, I expected them to be bad. I didn't expect them to be this bad. So I guess you could call that a big surprise for me.
Yeah, I mean, no one could expect somebody to be this bad. Well, the last surprise I have, Ho. I'm the Mets. I don't have. I mean, best team in baseball is. It's hard for me. Like, I can't put the Dodgers there out of, like, I just don't do it with those people. But I think Buck Showalter's already imprint on this team where it's like automatically in close games, you go from thinking like, yo, they're automatically going to lose here to like, oh, I think they're going to win this game. And they do a lot of like tough baseball, smart things right. I'm honestly high on everything about this team except for Edwin Diaz because I think the rest of the bullpen will probably be all right. Edwin Diaz, I've never been sold on. What's your?
No, I mean you and I have been the anti Edwin Diaz's since inception. I remember when he got
hard
traded.
To be an Edwin Diaz guy.
No, it really is. I mean, it was a bizarre trade. He was part of that Cano trade, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just absolutely bizarre trade.
Uber bizarre. What's yours? Give me yours.
My best team in baseball.
Yeah.
Listen, I know record doesn't show it right now. It's hard for me to say it's not the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Just on paper, that roster is just so stacked in every capacity. Bullpen, starting pitching. I mean, dude, their entire starting lineup. Their entire starting lineup is all stars. Every single one.
I will say I put them at number one in my power rankings, even though I didn't make them number one for best team in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they are, it's early. Baseball is the streakiest game of all time. Like the Yankees aren't going to keep up this clip. The Mets probably won't keep up this clip. I will tell you right now, when the cream finally rises to the top, it's going to be the Dodgers sitting at the top. Will they do anything come playoff time? No, because the Dave Roberts factor, and they're going to send Kershaw out there, who everyone's going to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and everyone's going to talk about, oh, he finally fucking got over his playoff yips in 2020. Yeah, that was a very different circumstance. We're talking about a 60-game season in a ballpark where he pitched in the World Series with 10% occupancy.
Yeah.
A far cry from,
the Dodgers can't win a championship in a non-COVID year. There's no way.
No, exactly. And that 2020 World Series, we talked about it before, in my opinion, is one of the most fraudulent titles in sports. More fraudulent than any of the other COVID titles.
They are like the quintessential regular season champion. Like if you could ever draw one up, they're like the quintessential regular season champion.
Yeah, I mean, well, they also have the best roster probably since like the 1920s Yankees. I mean, like. It is
the lineup isn't that deep, is it? It's really the pitching that's insane.
No, dude, hold on. Let's.
I mean, it just depends how much you believe. Like, do you auto believe in Gavin Lux like other people? Like, there's some pieces where it's like is Max Muncy definitely like an all-star? Like, a lot of these things are like, what if these people are flashing?
Freddie Freeman, Chris Taylor. Trey Turner.
Chris Taylor, get him out of the beginning of this conversation. Mookie Betts,
all right, fine.
Freddie Freeman.
Trey Turner. I mean, Bellinger.
Bellinger's good in a big spot, though. I like Cody Bellinger in a big spot.
Yeah, and listen, and Muncy and Justin Turner aren't going to be this bad all year.
Turner's getting old,
Turner is getting old. And then also, I mean, Mookie – Jesus, man.
What are the Phillies coming back?
No, the Mets are just tacking on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9-4. I mean, yeah, dude, this, and yes, how could you not throw? By the way, I'm gonna fight back on that Chris Taylor argument, dude. I mean, the guy has been one of the more consistent players on that team. Will he stay consistent? I don't know, but
he's
he's
great
been good
for a good ground into double play ball.
Yeah, and then Freddie Freeman has been as advertised.
Yeah, I mean, Freddie Freeman's one of the best players.
Yeah, and then Mookie is playing way below where he is capable of playing. I mean, Mookie, in my opinion, as much as it pains me to say it, is, excluding Trout because he doesn't really always play full seasons, is probably one of the best 5-tool players in baseball. It's just far.
I think Mookie's the best player in baseball. If I could have anybody, I'd have him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he can do it all. He can field, he can hit for contact, he can hit for power, and he can fucking steal bases.
Yeah. And he's a winner.
Yeah, he is a winner. I mean, he had one of the best statistical
years
ever.
Hard to say Mike Trout's a winner. You can call him a lot of things, but I don't think you can call Mike Trout a winner.
He's not a winner. I mean, listen, until Trout plays a full season, it's not hard to say that the legend or tale of Mike Trout might be one of the most over-exaggerated legends in sports.
Yes. Thank you, Will. Let's wrap it. Yes, let's wrap it up on that. That's how I want to leave it. It's so fucking true. That is so true. All right, Chan. What we're gonna do? We're gonna do a little exercise. We'll start at the top since you already know the Dodgers. I'm going to run through. When I get to 10, I will stop, and you critique, and we'll just do them in 10s, and you can give me – you want to go bottom up, or you want me to go top down? Top down on
Let's
the
go top down. Top down, yeah.
Dodgers, Giants, Mets, Brewers, Jays, Padres, Marlins, Astros, Angels, Yankees. You want to hear? So I bolded because my 11 through 20, they had Phillies, Twins, Cardinals, Rays. I have the Rays very low. Mariners.
See, it would also be great if our friend Shelly showed up and he could put this on the screen so that the listeners could see. But
that's true. Wait, hold on. I might be able to do it. Hold on. But you start. You go, and I'll.
Okay. Taking aside the fact that obviously I'm a diehard Yankee fan, to put the Yankees 10 in the power rankings, are we talking after this week, like after all games except for this?
I made that like 10 minutes ago.
Okay. To put them at 10, I mean, dude, you're being sensational, is what you're doing.
We're not that good.
I mean, we're talking about the way teams have performed going up until this point, and the Yankees are better than the Marlins. Did you put the Angels ahead of them too?
I put the Angels ahead of us by a spot. I don't believe in us as much as you do. It's overall. It's like it's how you perform / like there's got to be a little bit of your overall aptitude in there.
Sure, there's got to be a little bit of your overall aptitude, but the Yankees have been one of the best teams in baseball in all categories across the board so far this year.
All right, let's try this. This might work. I don't know. I think you're being sensational with the Yanks, Chan.
Oh, you're unreal.
Chan, here we go. You see it?
I forgot you had the Braves.
All right, let me knock that away for a second. All right. Where are you poking? Chan, poke some holes.
Okay. Actually, I agree with your top three. You
don't have the Brewers 4?
No, I have the Yankees 4. I have the Yankees 4. I actually have the Mets 2nd. Oh yeah,
Mets 2nd. I should probably swap those two. I'll do that.
I had Mets 2nd, Giants 3rd, Yankees, Blue Jays. So I guess I also had Blue Jays 5. And then I also had what's it called? Padres 6.
Where are the Brewers?
I had the Brewers 7, and then I had the Angels 8, and then where the fuck? Why is it only showing my 1 through 8?
Chan is an irrational optimist on the Yankees, by the way, just so everybody knows. So that
it's an unbelievable assessment. A sensational assessment, I would even go as far as to say.
You're sick. You're sick sometimes.
And what's it called? I had
so we're generally right there on the top.
Yeah, 8. we're basically right there on the top 8. Dodgers, Mets, Giants, Yankees, Blue Jays, Padres, Brewers, Angels.
Okay, so we're basically there. What do you
and then Astros 9, and then if we're gonna throw someone 10,
the Marlins.
Yes, the Marlins. Yeah.
Channy on the Marlins train. Welcome, brother. Where do you have your Cardinals?
I have the Cardinals 11, actually.
Okay. That's fair. That's fine. This section's muddy. Fair. This middle section's muddy. That section with
middle section's muddy. I actually have the Rays 12.
I just see the Rays. I don't think the Rays. I mean, 12-14. There's not much of a difference early season.
Oh, you have Phillies 11. I have the Phillies 13.
So we're right there. All right. Is anybody way far off? Do I have anybody way far off from you?
No, I mean, listen, dude, I think, and this is all bias aside, because if I was going to be an overly optimistic Yankee fan, I would have put them 1 because they do have the best record in baseball. But no, I put them 4. To put them 10, I think is that's insane, dude. Like, that is insane.
I think you're being a crazy person right now.
Where's Marty? Marty, are you on?
Marty, come break the time, Marty. Where would you put the Yanks? He's a Red Sox fan. What do you want him to say?
Exactly. So he would be the best.
Oh, that's true. Marty, chime in. Come on, brother. Where do you got the Rockies? You got them up in the range I got them in that mid-tier?
I honestly didn't go past 15, but if I was going to put the Rockies anywhere, I'd probably put them 16.
Okay. So Royals, Reds.
Maybe, they might.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Marty's on your team. Oh, no.
I mean,
Marty,
come on.
Sick. You're sick, Marty.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with you? Like, exactly. Thank you, Marty.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Even putting them 4, people would tell me I'm insane. But putting them 10, it's time to grow up, Peter Pan. This isn't Neverland.
All right. Let's check. We'll check back in on our Yanks after a tougher week and see what happens, and we'll all reconvene and see what happens. All right, Marty.
Well, I'm not sitting here. I'm not sitting here saying the Yanks are going to win the World Series. I'm not sitting here saying the Yanks are going to win the AL. I'm saying the Yanks are playing amazing baseball and some of the best baseball in the league right now.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Do you have something? I think we basically agree. You agree Reds and Royals are the slums, right?
No, I mean the Reds. Oh, yeah, sorry. Reds and Royals, yeah. I mean, the Nationals are pretty bad.
I have the Nationals irrationally high, I guess, at 22 or 23.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's also down there for me. Baltimore, obviously. I know we had this fucking huge debate last week, and you actually were right. They did win. They did cover. I will give you that. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's
the D-backs pitching has been electric.
D-backs pitching has been good. That's really the only saving grace. If we're talking about fantasy right now, I would literally punch Kettle Marte in the head. He's killing me.
Kettle Marte's been. Somebody asked me about him in the comments of one of my videos. He's been so bad, defensively.
He's been awful,
all around. Defensively, he's been really bad too.
I don't fucking understand it. I mean, all around their hitting has been terrible.
Yeah,
I don't absolutely terrible. I don't know what's going on there. They don't have anyone hitting above 300.
They don't have any hitters on the team.
No, I mean Pavin Smith is the best hitter on their team this year.
Like one of their best hitters, David Peralta, is like a converted reliever. He used to be a Cardinals pitcher. Remember that? What were the notes you had on the dead ball era, Ho?
When was he a Cardinals pitcher?
He was originally a Cardinals. David Peralta was originally a Cardinals pitcher, converted to
Are you sure
outfielder.
about that? Because
Tony La Russa brought him over to the D-backs with him and converted him to a right fielder. No, I swear, it's crazy. That's a true story. Yeah,
I'm looking at him right now, and yeah, I mean he's been.
It was a long time ago. Yeah. I'm telling you, true story.
No, he's been with Arizona since 2014, which is when his career started.
I think he was like in the minors then. I'm telling you.
I love that you just Google.
Well, like it's gonna I'm not wrong, so we're gonna have to talk about this.
Listen, I believe that you're right. It's weird. Let's do this.
How do I David Peralta, former pitcher? Here, look. Oh, Channy. You mind reading that for us?
He did. You're right. Yeah, they signed him in 2004 as a dude. I mean, fuck, man. What was he, 17 years old when they signed him? Yikes.
Right.
They released him in 2009. He was out of the league. Wow, he does have a weird career. He was out of the league from 2009 until 2013.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually love that we have that thing though. We should use that for go through the slate in a few minutes. What were the notes before we go through Monday's games? What were the notes you had on the dead ball era?
I think we need to
how
talk
absolutely
about it.
nobody can hit anything anymore.
Dude, it's bizarre. Let's just look at. Hold on. Where is okay? The lowest. Granted, listen, it's a young season, but so far it is the lowest batting average in MLB history.
Why?
At 231 across the league.
What do you think? They just swapped out the ball?
They did. I mean, there was a lot of, there was a lot of home run teams. I mean, you look at a team like the Yankees, they were built for the juice ball era, and now we're in the dead ball era. Luckily, their pitching's been good, but that's neither here nor there. And, people aren't hitting. And then also, you have to look at the evolution of pitching, right? It's not just, go out there and fucking throw a four-seamer and a curveball until your arm falls off for 9 innings. It's, spin rate and, sliders.
Channy, you're cut.
Oh. Can you hear me? I said it's spin rate and sliders and knuckle curves and all kinds of different pitch cadences and variations that are so much harder to hit.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of both, but it's fascinating to see. You got to wonder if the league's going to do something, because you also look, and Ben Verlander, who I'm not a huge fan of, was talking about it, but he's like, how many balls are going out to the warning track and just dying over the warning track? I mean, the Yankees have probably had at least 10 of those this year. There's something to be said about making the balls, I guess, a little bit more juiced. I don't really know, but
Channy, want to be a scientist? Scientist ho.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, baseball should always be a hitter's league. That's what sells. That's what makes the sport popular. I mean, baseball nerds like you, me, and our boy Marty, we love good pitching. Good pitching's amazing. But the truth is your average Joe doesn't want to go watch a 0-0 pitching duel. Your average Joe wants to see teams hit the cover off the ball. That's what's exciting.
You're right.
And I'm all for, whatever the MLB can do to return to relevance.
Well, but there's other things like, can we try the pitch clock, and can we try other streams or something? Can we try? The MLB doesn't try anything. They don't try
so
anything.
you know the pitch clock's coming next year.
Yeah.
They've been piloting it in the minors, and apparently they had a game, 9-inning game that was an hour and 58 minutes with the pitch clock. Jeff Passan was talking about it. It's pretty. Listen, they need to do something because the league dies.
Same.
The league is slowly dying. So I mean, pitch clock.
You need to make broadcasts more exciting. You got to make broadcasts more exciting. They're unbearable. They're unbearable.
So can we talk about that for a second? I'm going to get off topic here, and I apologize, but Carlos Beltran.
Oh, that is something I will say. That's an interesting point Marty makes up. With the pitch clock, it's got to be unbelievably hard to hold runners. They just time it.
That is a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's so true. You just literally like if the guy's going to wait, like if you're in the last few seconds, you basically just time it off and you're like, go on the.
That's a great point, Marty.
That is true.
It's a very good point.
What were you going to say, Hal?
That does add a wrinkle. We're talking about broadcasting. Dude, Carlos Beltran may be the worst color commentator I've ever heard in my entire life. Have you watched any of the games the last few days? And listen,
No.
Dude, it's unbearable. He seems like a great guy. I really like Carlos Beltran.
Oh, he's with
Get
us.
him out of the booth. Yeah, he is. He's on Yes doing.
Oh God.
He's on Yes doing color commentary. Yeah, he was doing it with Flaherty the last couple of days.
Where's Paul?
Paul's not back, so he's not allowed at the stadium.
That's hilarious. Paul would be vaxxed. There's no way him and Tino Martinez are vaxxed. There's no way. Or Chili Davis. No way Chili Davis is vaxxed either.
Well, and now Coney's doing less Yankee games because he's on Sunday Night Baseball, which I love. I mean, Coney's one of my favorite color commentators.
Good for him. Good for him. He's good.
No, great for him. But, dude, Beltran is insufferable. You know, we've also had to suffer through Cameron Maybin, who is bad, but not even close to as bad as Beltran.
Cam Maybin's doing –
Maybin is doing color.
Were you even here? Why do we owe you this? The same thing with Beltran. Why do we owe you guys this?
No, I mean, listen, Maybin –
Martinez fumble over some words or something.
Maybin isn't great, but compared to Carlos Beltran – I mean, dude, compared to Carlos Beltran, he's like, you know, he's one of the best commentators in the game. Like, dude, they cannot keep this Carlos Beltran experiment going. It's sad to watch. I just needed to put that out there because it's been really bothering me. Really bothering me.
I just, at some point, Chan, that's what part of our mission is. We're going to grow this brand and we're going to fucking help baseball get back on its feet because it's a mess. Wow, I remember seeing Chili Davis at Red Sox spring training back when he coached for us. Chili Davis was a shit, bro. In the 5-hole. I love Chili. Steady Chili in the 5 or the 6, but no, the 6. He was in the 6 behind Tino, right? It was Knobloch, Jeter, Paulie, Tino. No, Bernie, Tino, Chili, blah, blah, blah. All right. Kevin Youkilis, too. Yeah, wow. Yeah, Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah,
that's a weird one.
I can't imagine you being good.
Let's do our picks for tomorrow, Ho, and wrap this puppy up. We're at a little over an hour.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I can do a share screen for this to
Yeah, pull up the slate.
All right, Chan. First up, Royals cards. You got anything? I said the same thing to my friend about broadcasting. Yeah, dude, it's just the MLB needs to get their shit together across the board, like marketing, players, broadcasting, their social media, literally everything. Like they just need a clean wipe of the entire thing running the entire organization.
So St. Louis is favored.
Minus 160 seems wide.
It does seem wide, especially because Greinke's been pitching great.
Let's take the Royals, though. Wow. Let's take them.
Yeah, I would take the Royals, honestly. What do you think they are? Plus 140, plus
150.
Plus 150? Yeah, I would take the Royals.
It's a rivalry game too. They always play each other well. The Royals always come to
It's a
play.
rivalry. It's a rivalry game. I know you hate Matheny, but he's coaching against the team that he's coaching against his old team that unceremoniously fired him. Yeah. So I think, I'm taking the Royals plus 140.
I love it, Ho. All right, we're on the same side there. Angels, White Sox.
Taking the road dog again. You got Sandoval pitching tomorrow. Again, you got Sandoval pitching tomorrow. I know Cease is pitching. I think, it goes into the bullpen and the Angels hold on and win a low-scoring game.
It's tough for me. I wanted to be on that. I know Sandoval's been lights out. I have to stick with my
Cease
White
has been
Sox
great
versus
too, though.
lefties at home.
I think, honestly, I like an under bet in that game.
Yeah, I can see that. The White Sox lineup looks like a mess. Although 5 runs scored in the 9th, maybe they can continue that momentum. I was thinking.
Doubtful, but I think it's a travel day. All momentum
D-back
goes out the window on a travel day. D-backs, Marlins. I'm taking the Marlins. It's not even, we don't even need to go that in depth on that one. I really.
Zach Gallen revenge. He's been pitching lights out. Revenge back to
has been pitching lights out
against his own old team in the Marlins. D-backs got a little spunky versus.
He's been their best pitcher, but Pablo Lopez has been even better.
The Marlins are hot. I agree. We can't really go against them too much. Let me write down your picks too, so I have them. KC, LAA, MIA. How about the Twins Orioles? What are you thinking, Ho?
This one's tougher for me, man. There is a part of me that thinks the Orioles could win this ball game.
Woo!
I don't know. I don't know if I can bet on it. That's a throwaway game for me. But if I'm picking,
the Orioles are plus 140.
Listen, I'm going to say this to anyone that's listening, all of our 2 people that are probably listening, and whoever might listen to this later. I will never tell you to bet the Orioles in a regular season baseball game this entire year.
Oh, I did again today.
But if you put a gun to my head and I have to pick in this game, I think there's more upside on betting the Orioles.
Same.
But don't do it.
I love it.
Don't do it. Don't bet the game.
Do it. Take the Orioles. Yankees, Jays. I like Paddock. The Orioles lineup is good enough to get to Paddock. They're going to get to Paddock, and they're playing well.
This is a tough one for me. Honestly, I think the Yankees win streak ends tomorrow. I think Monty's been great. But there have been a couple instances where I've seen him kind of pitch his way into trouble that's been worrisome, where things are just kind of broken the right way. I don't know if that lasts. I think this Blue Jays team is, good. I agree. I think Stripling is – I think Stripling will get lit up, but at the same time, it's hard to keep this Blue Jays team at bay. So, if anything, I'm taking the Blue Jays. I'm also probably taking the over.
I feel like the Jays are starting to get some momentum going.
Yeah, I'm also taking the over too. I'd bet the over before I bet either side of that game.
I can see them both getting hit. Yeah, I'm scared of that one. As a Yankees, do you know we're favorites? Do you know we're road favorites in that game? How insane is that?
Yes, I see that. Exactly, and that's why I think there's more value betting the Blue Jays. They're probably
there has to be value in betting.
But
yeah, you can get plus 105 on the Jays before we started the podcast. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Doesn't even make any sense.
No, it really doesn't.
There's no line out for this game yet, but we can see what we'd line it at. The Braves-Mets game, I'd probably make the Braves like a small favorite. Max Fried's good.
On the road? No, there's no way. If anything, I think the Mets will be like minus 130, 140.
Oh, no, I think the Mets will be like a minus 130. I think it's like a straight pick-em game or like minus 115 to the Braves.
I thought you were saying that the Braves are going to be favored.
No, I think they should be, but they won't be.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Bassett's been good though, and Freed's been good. I'm still taking the Mets as much as it pains me.
Taking who?
I'm still taking the Mets.
Shanny on the Mets. All right, we'll duel there. I like it. Let's duel on that one. I like Max Fried in that spot against the lineup. I think Max Fried will pitch well. I think there's some
What are
good
they? Are they a
bullpen.
sushi bet tomorrow? Or are they an avocado bet tomorrow?
We'll see what the line is.
Okay.
Depending on the line, ho. All right, last two. Mariners, Astros. Wait, Marty's got something. Bullpen showed up for the Jays last two games. It did. Miza's pretty good. The Mets have too much momentum. They do have a lot.
Marty's riding the Mets with me.
Big Sunday night baseball rolling the momentum. It's
not a big Sunday night baseball win yet. It's still the 8th inning, but I like where your head's at.
Mariners, Astros. I think I'd lean Astros.
Who's going? Gonzalez and Odorizzi? Yeah, I'd lean Astros as well.
Yeah, I think just Odorizzi. The reason why the Astros got him is because he's a fly ball pitcher in that big ass fucking Minute Maid Park. So it's a good matchup.
It's a good matchup for him.
All right, we're both.
I don't think
only minus 120 you can get.
Wow. Yeah,
I know.
I'd be taking the Mariners. I would actually go as far as to almost say that might be my favorite game of the week or of the day tomorrow.
That we've talked about so far, I think I probably agree with you. Up until maybe, I mean, I don't know how much value there is, but I think the Rays always. This is the kind of game the Rays win. Like the Rays go out there to Oakland. Oakland's been playing all right. The Rays beat bad teams.
Tell me why, though. I mean, that's a tough ballpark. That's a tough ballpark for visiting teams. I mean, don't the A's usually have really good home road splits?
I don't know. They're 4-6 at home right now. So about 50-50. I mean, I think maybe because the place's such a dump, the freaking
exactly. Have you ever been there?
There's like used needles on the ground in the visitor dugout.
Yeah, it's a shit show. Let's see. Oakland A's last year.
Value on the A's. There might be the slightest. I do think the line is either about right or it's a little. I don't think the A's are going to be over 500 very much longer. I guess they're not. They're already gone from over 500. But
no, I don't either. Actually, I take that back. They were literally even Steven. They were 43-38 at home and 43-38 on the road last year.
Yeah.
They were 22-10.
They almost play better away from home than you think you'd have some edge being at home. They're almost better away from there. That place is a shithole.
Well, that wasn't enough. I mean, they were 52-29 at home in 2019 and 45-36 on the road. Not a huge disparity, but
man, how shortly ago the A's were like talking about like, can we make a run? And now, wow.
No, I mean, dude, think about those pieces. I mean, Bassett, Manaea, Montes, freaking Chapman,
Olsen, Simeon.
Olsen, Simeon.
Laureano's suspended now. Yeah, that whole thing fell apart really fast.
Didn't they have Joris Familia for a little bit too?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit. I mean, they had a bunch of bullpen pieces for a little bit. They had training.
Hendricks.
They had training. I mean, they had a lot.
Too, right?
That team, they just needed like a superstar. They just needed something to push them over the edge, like some X factory thing to push them over the edge that they thought was like Stephen Piscotty or Chad Pinder, but obviously that wasn't it.
No, but
well, I guess they didn't think that. It's what they could afford. It's what they could afford.
You know the story of Piscotty, right? Of why he went to Oakland.
Why?
His mom had cancer, and she lived in Oakland, couldn't travel. He went into the front office of St. Louis, said, "Please trade me. I need to be close to my mom. I need to go to Oakland." So they traded him to Oakland.
Wow, that's good people. That's pretty nice of them.
Yeah.
That's a good story. That's a good heartwarming story to end on, Ho. I like that.
Yeah, no, it is.
Good for Stephen Piscotty.
Yeah, Piscotty's a good man.
He is a good guy. I liked that crew of Cardinals role players a lot more than this current crew, but we'll see how it works out. I think Tyler O'Neill in the 3-hole is one of the more egregious things I've seen in a long time.
I love Tyler O'Neill, dude.
Bro, he's like not, his
I don't know.
muscles are too big. He's not coordinated enough to get to every ball he needs to.
Dude, you are the anti-Cardinal.
Yes.
You are the anti-Cardinal and the anti-Yankee.
I'm not an anti-Yankee. I love us. I am anti-Cardinal through and through.
Marty, get my back on this.
Don't you dare. Do not question my love on this fucking podcast. Don't question my allegiances.
You put them 10. They're the best record in baseball, and you put them 10 in the power rankings.
Maybe that's why I can't pick a game for my life right now. I'm putting the Yankees at 10.
Putting that together. You literally were probably putting that together, and we're like, I'm going to put the Yankees 10. It'll make for great content with Chan.
I didn't. I really didn't. I would have, if you would have told me before the podcast that you would have the Yankees at 4, I would have been like, are you sure you want to do it? Like you're in such a state of mind. I don't even know if we can talk right now. You're hallucinating. But I guess I'm hallucinating considering Marty's on your side. Marty's still got your back. He's just hard on the Yanks. He's still got your back home.
Marty, real quick, before we end, tell us, Red Sox going to finish above 500 this year?
No. They're not.
I think they do.
No, I don't think they do. I think
they
on full sell mode on the Red Sox at this point. I'm as full sell mode.
I think they do finish above 500. I think that line. I still, going back to it. How do you trade Hunter Renfroe?
Who's that little plaque up behind you? How do I not know who that plaque is? Who is that?
I'm glad you asked. It's a gentleman by the name of Jorge Posada.
Hip hip.
Hey!
Thank you. All right. You never let a hip hip go unanswered. Man, don't you remember that back in the stadium back in the day, the hip hip Jorge?
Oh, man.
What a
Love
time.
me a hip hip Jorge.
What a time in life, man.
Hip hip Jorge and the Derek Jeter roll call. Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter. Oh, man. What a, great way to end the pod, Shan. Great way to end the pod. I think we get some offense at the same time.
I agree with you, Marty.
Marty.
I think that lineup is too good to be hitting the way that they have been. So,
but then the pitching regress at the same time, and they stay where they are under 500.
We'll see. I mean, I don't think Waka's 1.22 ERA pitcher, but we'll see.
I think the bullpen's got some regressing too. They don't have a closer. What is Whitlock going to pitch every inning?
They've got Hansel Robles that closes for them sometimes. If this Diekman kid can get his control down,
he's been around for 8 years. Chan, how long? What do you think it's going to magically occur today? Get at it.
Hey, listen,
crazy.
You never know. Look at Gio Urshela. Exactly. No timely hits. Except, honestly, JD hitting a granny today.
Channy's pulling Gio Urshela as evidence right now. We've got
saying,
we're off.
I'm just saying,
producer
man.
Off the rails.
Tigers can change their stripes.
All right, boys. Yeah, you don't have a closer. Your closer was left off the playoff roster last year because he was so bad. That's an issue. All right, Chan, an hour, 23 minutes. Wrap this pup up.
Let's wrap this pup up. Thank you all. We will see you, Thursday?
Thursday.
All
right,
we might have a producer. Yeah, it's fucking
crazy
bizarre.
To see that thing.
We might have a producer next time we come on. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. We went all right today. We stayed pretty on topic.
No, we did.
All right. Love you, Ho. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Love you too, buddy.
All right. Be good. Wait, hold on.